Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Boy, has it been a minute since we started this project. The current date is June 25th, 2020. I'm pretty sure we started craft organizing at Easter time. The craft room organizing at Easter time. It was when Jimmy had time off. He took off the time to go away to my sister's house for Easter, and we never were able to go because of the COVID-19. So that's when we started this project. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to present them edited. I'm thinking now at this point it's probably going to be broken up into little projects, because this is like not just a major cleaning video. This is actually like a big purge. So if this is the first video of mine that you've ever watched. Hi, my name is Jeri-Ann. I live out here in mid-Missouri, South Central Missouri to be exact. And I'm born and bred Long Island, New York kind of girl. We moved out here about 7 years ago, just a little, like 7 years and a month. We've been in this house a little less than 7 years. I've had my craft room since April of 2018-ish. And I am a constant work in progress. The reason is because I have physical limitations at times. Sometimes it's lack of energy, sometimes it's pain. I'm like arthritic everywhere. Yes, I am morbidly obese. Yes, if I lost weight, I've never been an average or thin day in my life. So it's really, at this point, I'm just living with the pain for now. But that being said, when I get creative, I'm creative. When I get organizing, I'm organizing. And for me, never the twain shall meet. So right now I'm in organizing mode. So usually what happens is when I get crafty, I go and I have an idea, and I'll go and I'll pull out all the things I think may work. And then they're usually surrounding me while I'm working. Then comes the time when I'm done with the project, then I have to bring it out here and photograph it and stage it and all the things. I very rarely go back and clean up right away. Sometimes I clean up the next day if I'm still feeling creative and I need the space. That's gonna be loud, so I won't feel that right now. That's just a little background into what is happening and why. But when we moved here, I was a career woman in New York, and when we moved here, I had a lot of trouble finding a job that I could do that wasn't gonna cost my family money. It's really weird that it sounds that way, but that's what I found. So I started YouTube in 2016 in December, and I started finally earning some money last August. So until last August, I kind of like held on to whatever I could, because for the fear of not knowing if I'd ever be able to replace it with something new. So like, for example, I had a ton of work clothes, like office type work clothes. And I just hung on to them in case I got a job that required me to dress in office appropriate attire. But then as I realize now that I have a little bit of money and I can buy new clothes, then I can go ahead and I can gift them and make them a blessing to someone else, and so on and so forth. So I'm doing that also with my craft stuff. My YouTube family, if you're new, you won't even know, you won't even believe how amazing this YouTube family is. But they are so super generous and have just gifted me with so much craft stuff. It's a lot, and I've been able to be a blessing onto others, especially during this time of coronavirus quarantine and COVID-19 stay-at-home orders, because I know a lot of people who have disabilities and who live on Medicaid and Social Security disability and stuff, so they really can't afford those extra things. So I gift everything that I overflow to them, and that's most likely where this stuff will be going. Now, if I inspire you to purge, where my heart speaks to me is find your local chapter of adults with developmental disabilities, because there's a very good chance that they are non-for-profit, a good chance, not 100%, and that they may not be able to afford their own kinds of crafting supplies. So when I used to work at AHRC in Nassau County, that was one of the things that it was such a blessing when we would get crafts donated to us. So what I'm gonna do today, the project for today, as you could probably tell by the title, is my paper purge. Okay, so here's what I currently have. This is paper that was gifted to me. It's in this box that I got from the Dollar General. Let me move this over so you can see better. So it's in this like garbage bag thing that I got from the Dollar General when I first moved here. It was my garbage can when the office space was a shared space. Well, when it was mostly Jimmy's and I shared it. Now it's mostly mine and he shares it. But I have all of this that was gifted. I have this is my current box of scrapbook paper, and you can kind of see it's kind of like popping out. And then when I was in New York, I did way more paper crafts than I do now. So what's in this box is what survived the flood. I moved here after Superstorm Sandy. And what is in here is what survived the flood, like scrapbooking stuff, card making stuff, and such. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be getting rid of this QB. I know. I'm actually going to use it to put spring and St. Patrick's Day DIY stuff in. But for now, I'm just gonna be working. If you wanna see how I was organized, well, actually, before I get that, what I ended up buying was these from the Dollar Tree, these 3 paper holders, and then this other one from Michael's. It's pretty much exactly like the one that I have. It's just new and empty. I'm gonna tilt you down and show you what I have going on in here, if you don't mind. You probably don't, because that's probably why you're here, to be inspired and motivated. So I do love to keep things organized, even though I like have a lot of stuff. People always talk about like I have too much stuff and it's overwhelming. But I do like to keep, okay. I do like to keep myself organized. This is like scrapbook adhesives and I like one label, which is random. These are fancy binder clips that I'm pretty sure somebody gifted me. I might have bought them myself though. And then in here I have like, these are card kits. Here are card kits. This is actually scrap papers. I used to make invitations. I wonder if I actually have any. I was just wondering. These are like more card kits. I don't have any in here if I do have any. This basket is, I believe, my rubber stamps. There's some card. Oh no, it's card. It's cards. It's card paper. Yeah, that's all card paper and card, pre-made cards, like pre-folded cards, like these ones from the Dollar Tree that came out Valentine's Day, like that kind of stuff. And then in this basket that was underneath it, I don't know if you guys seen these baskets from the Dollar Tree. They have these little things and they stack. These are all my paper punches and paper embossers. So that's what that is. I don't know what, if anything, that I'm going to give away as far as that's concerned, like the expensive stuff. This is like a rubber stamp kit that I got on clearance. Oh. And I, no joke, I think I used it one time, if I used it at all. Hold on. Those are from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I did use it. It's open. But I feel like I just opened it a minute ago. And I used it to store all of these clear stamps that are from the Dollar Tree. These I did use. I just cleaned them off and put them back in their packet. Paper cutter. I don't even know where my favorite paper cutter went. This one is from like Aunt Sue went to a party, a scrapbooking like at home party. And that's not even my favorite one though. My favorite one is actually from Fiskars, and I don't know where it is. It might be down there, but so this is kind of a crazy story. There was this, like, about the time I was getting married, Starbucks sold these like scrapbooking kits. You got a scrapbook, which I believe I gifted already. You got a scrapbook, and then like all of these paper corners, paper, these little, let's see, these tin cans that have like these tin cans that have like the things that like mounting square corner things. They were all in there from Starbucks, and it was super cheap. I got like 4 boxes on clearance one time after. I don't even think anybody knew that they sold them. More envelopes. These I need actually for an upcoming DIY. And then this is all of my invitation stuff. I can show you that actually. I think that'd be a good thing to share. Here is like my favorite types of like tissue paper. Just any kind of like paper crafts go in here. Here is gift bags. There's some more clear stamps, another gift bag set. These kinds of gift bags I actually buy to do DIYs with, but they're really cute. And then of course, the bottom bin is cards and special paper that was gifted to me. And here's my favorite paper cutter. There's my Fiskars. It doesn't have 3 blades. That's just where I store them. And then the last thing is my rubber stamp. So let me get the last couple things out of here. There's another plastic, another clear set of stamps from the Dollar Tree. And these little Mary Engelbreit buttons. Okay. So I have all these clear stamps. I don't really ever stamp anymore. It's like, why do you keep buying them, Jeri? Because I want to be hopeful that I want to do this someday again. I know that sounds dumb. Does anybody else buy crafts like that? Or just me? No. Okay. So I have to decide what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of and where I'm going to store it if I do. So that's what this whole project is going to be about. Are you interested in seeing my rubber stamps? So I have this kit that I got from the Target dollar spot for $3. And if I did planning, I guess it would be a good thing to have. But then I just kept all my favorites. Friends Today, Friends Forever. This one says Love. I actually have a DIY in my living room that I did with that. This is a rose in a heart. This is a Mary Engelbreit. It says miracles are all around you. As you can see, most of them I picked up the fun things, like that's the clearance sticker from Michael's is still on there. This is just a pretty border. This one says Happy Holidays. This one says Best Friends. And this is the most wonderful thing about Tigger. This says Love. This is like the ultimate one that I know I'm not going to get rid of, but this is Twal. And this is a little kid fishing. And then this is the wolf, but the wolf came loose from his wood. So he looks like that, but he came unglued. So those are all the wooden stamps. Well, they're not all the wooden stamps. There's some more in here. There is this little ladybug. There is this little flower. I think they came from the Target dollar spot that they were gifted to me. Here is one from the Dollar Tree that's like a pre-ink stamp. Here is more clear boards from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, this is the stamp. I think these are gifted to me. Here is more clear stamps from the Dollar Tree. These are clear alphabet letters. So I kind of feel like I'm not going to get rid of everything, but I'm definitely going to downsize. So I was recently gifted, if you watched Friend Mail, a Hogwarts seal. So here's all my sealing wax. I really only have gold. Do I have anything besides gold left? This is white. I think I'm all out of the red. I feel like I used it for something. But there's this little stamp that looks like little tiny stars, like an American flag. So I have a J and an H, and then an H that fell apart. The piece is in there. And then another H that fell apart, pieces in there. Here is a JH stamp. I'm not 100% sure how or why. Here is a ladybug or bumblebee or whatever it is, and then some ribbon. And here's the seal. That's a cross. I used that one. But I used, you know what's really funny? I don't know where my seal is. That's from my wedding. I wonder if I have it. I wonder if I have it somewhere else. But anyway, so I'm just gonna leave you on. I'm probably gonna put on some music. Maybe I'll stop from time to time to talk to you. But for now, I'm just gonna get at it. I'm gonna try to figure out, oh, I do wanna share you. So I made invitations for everybody. I made my own wedding invitations, but I used to do this. So perfect example, this was a luncheon or a dinner, a holiday party that we had from Homemakers of America. I feel like I told you about that already. And what I did was I printed, like, this part was printed on vellum, and it was supposed to go over like this, so the snowman is hiding. I don't know, can you see that? And then you lifted up this and you can see all the information. So it says you're invited, and then you lifted it up and you're like, you saw all that. Because for right now, it just looked like a snowman peeking behind a tree. So that's the kind of stuff that I did. And then cut up lots of ribbons. Is there, I wonder if there's actually another one in here. This was from, I think this is Rebecca. Oh no, this is Leah's Sweet 16. This I did for my friend Joyce. For her niece. So this was Leah's Sweet 16. It was vellum over. We put a picture of her in here, like glued on here. And then we punched holes and we put the ribbon through here just to make a pretty invitation. So that was the thing I used to do for everybody. Back in the day when I had money. I wonder if there's, oh, here's some done. Is this, I feel like this is probably Rebecca's. Oh no, this is, oh, okay. This was a a bridal shower for my friend Joyce's future daughter-in-law. That's now her daughter-in-law. So this is printed on the top, and then underneath it is all of the information. Well, so this is printed on the top, and then if you lift it up, it's actually like the information. And then you can see here, like that was her name before she got married. We tied it with raffia because it was a beach theme. See that? And it looked like it was etched in the sand. So those we made. I thought I might have one of Rebecca's, but I don't see any. So I made them for like Rebecca's christening, her like birth announcement, Abigail's christening. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. This is when my hands used to work better. But I always keep them for like ideas. So I don't know if I will. I have all this cut ribbon. Okay. So we'll see. But anyway, now I'm gonna get at it. Okay. So as you could tell, I have a large collection of paper. Not only paper that I've collected myself, but paper that I've been gifted. As a matter of fact, that black and white box has mostly gifted paper. Because paper that I had previously had myself, I had storage for, but then when I was gifted more, I just knew I had to accommodate. But I will tell you, I'm kind of proud of this particular organizing event because we took one whole storage tote, I like to call them cubies, and that basket with the black and white there, as well as one already 12 by 12 paper box, and we consolidated it down to two 12 by 12 paper boxes, 3 8 by 10 sort of storage boxes, and was able to gift the rest. Now I do have, in all fairness, one of those little gray baskets that has the fancy hole punches in them. I don't want to return them with the paper crafts, even though they technically are, but I want to store them over on my Cricut cart in one of the drawers. I mean, technically Cricut is the die cut machine, right? The original. So That was one thing that you'll see at the end of this project. Doesn't have a place, doesn't have a home yet. The other thing that's not filmed in this project was this box came, well, the one existing box of paper that I already had, not the black and white one, but the plastic one, came off the back of this sewing, the fabric dresser. What I had on that fabric dresser was this basket set. I mentioned it in a previous video that I stored all my canvases in the large, actually it's the second largest one of the baskets. The large basket we're going to use in a project tomorrow. But what I have left then is the smallest rectangle and the two squares that fit inside of it. They were on here with the large basket. They were still on the dresser with stuff stored in it. What did I have stored in it was like my iron and my ironing mat. I actually have two irons. I have a cordless one. It's not as powerful as my regular iron, but I do use it if I ever need to be portable without the cord. So what we did was, we have it here at the end of the video, you might see it, but we ended up putting that in our guest room closet, because this way if our guests ever come and need a little ironing or whatever, we have a whole little, you know, kind of like when you go to a nice hotel, whatever you forgot when you were at home kind of thing. Then we stored my iron and my ironing mat on the great rolling cart that my friend Chris sent me, and that's got my sewing machine on it, so that makes sense that they're together. Then we were able to clear off the most part of the dresser. We're still working on the right side, and I'll share that with you in upcoming videos. But what we basically I wanted to make my storage more open. So it's really kind of funny, because I've spent all of this time and effort over the years and years, making the storage more concealed, including what's in my closet, including all the cubies, even what's on my bookcase. Most of that storage is like concealed storage. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I wanted this paper storage to be like out in the open. Maybe I want it to be more easily accessible. That could be it. Maybe it's just a mental roadblock because it was hidden behind a basket. I really had to jump through hoops and loops to actually get to get to it when I needed it, including my 2 boxes of washi tape. Maybe while you're out here, you can grab that for me. I had to leave that in for you guys because it was kind of funny. I just never skipped a beat, and he came down and he was like, "What are you doing?" But what I end up having is the 2 12 by 12 boxes with 2 washi tape boxes on top, and then the 3 red boxes. And on the very, very top, I do have 3 of the little Dollar Tree jot boxes, the ones that kind of like have a bump in the middle so that they nest. One of them has all of my glass marbles and flat stones that I've gotten from the Dollar Tree. One has all of these unique, like, I want to say very 2000s, 90s sort of crafts, where just like the little pearl stamens and the little angel wings. I have these miniature tiny paper pumpkins, just certain things that are sort of random and little, but I know in my head where to find them, so I keep them in there. I have like these baby tiny puffy little chicks, like chenille stem type little chicks on, just random stuff like that. I know where to look for it. I know where it is. And then the last box has I want to say like brass brads, that kind of stuff, and push pins. So I did want to share with you guys that this paper book, it says weddings. Before I started scrapbooking, like before I met Garth Brooks, those early days, it was, I think, what did it say? It was $1.97. And it was from, are you ready? Are you guys sitting down? You won't believe it. It's from 1996. Yep, that's right. Hot off the press. It's called Hot Off the Press Ink. Circa 1996. It's not quite that hot anymore.
That's old news.
Well, I had used some of it over the years, but you can tell I kind of didn't let go of it. It just had very like romantic paper in it. It's not my cup of tea anymore, but it's just funny to go back and look, you know. I feel like I mentioned in the beginning about the Starbucks folder, the Starbucks scrapbooking kit that I got. Um, three of them actually back in the day. I believe I actually only put together one scrapbook of it, but I used the materials for other things. Just the thought of it, you know, I do have sort of that nostalgic feel that I've really always just wanted to do the scrapbooks. But what I realized when I did do my scrapbooks, it was hard to like decide what was going to go in and what was going to not go in. Scrapbook isn't like a photo album. A photo album, you just put like all the pictures in, you know? There's a picture of Jim at the beach, and then there's a picture of Jim at the beach looking down over the boardwalk, and then, you know what I mean? When you're scrapbooking, you just put, there's a picture of Jim at the beach. You pick your favorite picture of Jim at the beach, and that's what goes in the scrapbook. And that's not a guaranteed rule, but that's pretty much how you do, you know, how you do it. So it was just always really hard for me to put together the pictures and to not, like, just to pick and choose. I guess I don't have children. It must be hard to pick your favorite. I'm just kidding. You shouldn't have favorite children. But sort of like that. So I really I had the romanticism of wanting to scrapbook, but then really like once I started doing it, I was like, oh, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and I can't decide it. It's like Sophie's Choice. I don't know. So how originally, you know, again, we talk about the evolution of organization. How I originally thought I would do this is to put 12 by 12s in one box and then smaller pieces in another box. And then I decided to end up, I switched to holiday. So I switched to like this one had everyday type of paper and this one had like holiday specific paper. But then I realized that it really wasn't going to work either. So, you know, just play with it. Whatever works for you. Obviously, how you organize is going to depend on your inventory. It's going to depend on your needs. And it's going to depend on how often you get into your materials and how often you need to access the different varieties of materials. And what I mean by that is, are you somebody who scrapbooks every day? Or somebody gets into your paper crafts every day? Do you every day possibly search through all of your things, or do you work just on that season that's happening right now? And just that's, you know, whether it's yarn, paint, paper, ribbon, whatever, it really comes to that same sort of philosophy. How often am I going to access this? How much of it do I need? How accessible am I going to make it so that even if I only want to access it rarely, is it going to be easy enough to get to? So just these things really are dependent from person to person. I try to do these videos to give you guys A, motivation, B, perhaps some storage ideas, and then C, a little bit of insight into me, a little walk down memory lane, and a little bit to see all that I have and all that I've been gifted and all that I kept and all that I gave away. Now, I did mention that I didn't take a photograph of all of this stuff. I have been giving her, as the project goes by, I just gift her whatever we are purging that is actually reusable. So I haven't been taking pictures of it. I will start doing that from this day forward, but I haven't, well, from the other day forward, but I haven't started doing that yet. So you really can't get a good idea of all that we gave away. What I actually have is a pile it's on the right side of the camera here. And it's just every time I see something or I grab something that I want to be able to give to be a blessing to her, or she thinks she could use and isn't just trash, I go ahead and I put it over there. Now, she also is very crafty and will work with scraps and people like scrap materials. I don't mean like scraps, like not what would be, you know, some people might consider trash. I think it's like big pieces of little pieces of big pieces of fabric, or big pieces of little pieces of fabric, or paper. I forgot what I was talking about. But she's very resourceful like that too. So she'll put together like collages and stuff, or people in her building will. So I don't mind giving them what would be bigger scraps of paper. All right. I've just been gifted so much, and I hate to just have it sit in there and collect dust and become discolored and unsticky and etc. while someone else could be using it. Okay? Now, I didn't get to share with you. I have a friend who I met here on YouTube who is just the most generous, beautiful person. She doesn't always want me to share everything that she sent me. So a lot of the stuff you see here are gifts that I'm grateful to her. And as she sees them, she'll know that I'm grateful to her. Very, very grateful to her. But, I just wish I could shout her out every time. She's going through something right now, and I'm thinking about her every day. So, anyhow, I'm not going to get emotional and sentimental. So, maybe I will. I don't know. So, what I decided then to do was the Dollar Tree has all of these like mini scrapbook paper notepads. So I took one of the red boxes and I put all those little mini notepads and mini scrapbook papers and mini cardstocks into one of them. One of the boxes we're going to go ahead and use for rubber stamps, but we're actually going to continue this project the next day. The end of the video was actually, this video is over the course of 2 days. So I knew for sure that I wanted one of those boxes to hold all the little pads of paper. But what I was going to do with the other two, I wasn't really sure of what I wanted to keep. Now, since I don't rubber stamp often, but I do rubber stamp a bit, I did keep some of my collection that I was able to consolidate down. And then I was able to gift many more stamps to her, which I'm grateful. I'm grateful I'm able to give it to somebody. Somebody mentioned in a comment yesterday about I should have a giveaway on my channel. But I will tell you, and I mentioned this when we had our 50,000K giveaway, that it's very expensive to send stuff, especially craft stuff, because it can tend to be very heavy. I did giveaways on my channel when I first started, and they ended up costing me more money than just the items that I was sending, obviously. It was $30 or $40 in shipping, just because the boxes were so big, because some of the items are heavy. So I found that's why at the 50K giveaway, I decided it's cheaper just to put all that money on a gift card and let somebody go buy their own stuff. It actually ended up being less money for me to do that, believe it or not. So it's easier for me and cheaper for me, and it's one of the things I encourage you all. So many of you reached out to me over the years, especially after getting stuff from other subscribers, that you would like to send me some craft stuff. And I say in the deepest, most sincere way that I can, I don't want you to spend that kind of money just to get me the stuff that you have, just so you, so I could have it, or you don't want to use it anymore. I encourage everybody, like I said in the beginning, to gift whatever they have extra to people in need in your area. It'll save them money, save you money, and it'll bless your heart as it blesses their lives. Okay. That's enough of that. So now I have decided, like, am I going to go through this paper again? So now a bulk of this paper was gifted to me. And when I first received it, I went through each sheet. I will never use this. This is beautiful. This is not my style. I can't imagine when I would use this purpose for this, that type of thing. These would be great for Halloween. These would be great for Christmas. This would be great for farmhouse decor, whatever it was. Well, in the meantime, I was gifted more stuff, and I don't know that I went through everything. So what I did was I looked for, like, sections of stuff, and I noticed, like, oh, all of this paper was from Ann. I know that I already went through the paper for Ann, so I'm going to just put this paper from Ann in the box, and so on and so forth. God bless America.
What?
I just put all this stuff in a Ziploc bag that's got a hole in the bottom.
Oh,
I stood the bag.
you need to get a Ziploc for you?
I stood the bag up and everything fell out. I just was God bless America.
You need me to get you another one?
Oh no, I'm all right.
I just love to share that stuff with you because I'm sure as you're organizing, you're probably like, you watch people on YouTube and they have seemingly perfect technique. And when you're going to do it, like when I knocked the box off the table and when I put everything into a bag with a hole in it. It happens. It happens in real life. And if people like me who are on your phone, TV, computer don't show you that life happens to us too, you might feel a little bit disillusioned and you might feel a little bit down more on yourself because it's hard to not compare ourselves to others. I highly recommend not to do that. It's what makes me so happy. But I know from talking to a lot of you, it is very hard to not compare yourselves to others. So I feel like it's my place to show you that we all make mistakes and stuff always happens. And sometimes the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, but if you look closer, you might see all the dead grass from all the dog pee. I'm just saying. So, when I can't speak for everybody, but I'm sure many of you out there, when you're purging, do you notice that your mind does a shift? Or maybe it is just me. I shouldn't say that. My mind does a shift where I feel like I get to a certain point where I'm like, oh, this is fun and nostalgic, and I don't want to let go, and I want to keep this. But then my mind does a shift to like, boom, let's just get rid of it all. then it takes your husband to talk you off the cliff and say, listen, you're going to regret it if you get rid of all this tomorrow. Just go back to doing what you were doing. Purge what you think you won't need, and so on and so forth. Because really I get to a point sometimes where I'm just like, get rid of it all, start over from scratch. And that's really not impractical. It's also very wasteful. it's also sort of a cop-out, to be honest with you, because you could say like she's really lazy because she's just getting rid of everything as opposed to wanting to take care of it and clean it up. So I have a bunch of scrapbook paper that I've left in one of these 12 by 12s that I'm actually going to gift when I go to Texas. Right now, I've just left it in this 12 by 12, but after talking to my friends down there, and like it's kind of like you put it away and then you're like, oh, let me call so and see, could she use this? Because this would be really fun for her to do something with. And then she'll be like, yeah. So I have it written down on my list. I always, when you guys are going away or sending Christmas gifts or talking or shopping, do you make like almost like a shopping list of things that you need to take with you or bring with you as you discuss it with your family? Yeah, it's kind of like that. You're planning a trip to the lake every summer. And this year at Christmas time, you all sit down and say, it'd be really fun if we did this summer potato sack races. And if you don't write it down, when you're going to go to plan in May for what you're bringing in the summertime, you won't remember to get the potato sacks because it's not on your normal mental Rolodex. That's what I'm trying to say. So I have my ongoing list of things to bring to Texas, and it went right on it so that I can remember to go back in and get it. If I take it out now, it'll just get put somewhere lost and away type of thing. So, getting rid of some things that were sentimental from the wedding was a little tough for me, but it was just stuff, It wasn't my actual brochure. It was just like paper that I used to make my brochures. It wasn't my actual invitations. It was just scraps left over from when I made my invitations and so on and so forth. So it was hard, but I did it. Now I can't wait to share with you all of the Harry Potter projects that we did so far, and I know there's more coming this week, but I can't wait to share all of them with you. But just talking about invitations makes me think of that as well, because I really hadn't made homemade invitations, well, on the computer that got printed, but really nothing where I cut paper in a very, very long time. So here's the next day. What we decided to do is take the last two red boxes go through all the rubber stamps, all the ink pads, and then decide, then and there, what we're going to keep, what we're going to get rid of. I do have a basket full of notepads, like note cards, excuse me, that we moved some of them with the greeting cards, but then I gave away a bunch because there's no point. I don't really correspond by paper that much. You guys know that. If you've been around here a while, you know I'm horrible at that. Sharon, Aunt Sue, they are wonderful at correspondence. Jeri, not so much. I'll give you a phone call. I won't forget your day. I'll give you a phone call. I'll send you a text, an email, or Facebook message, or whatever it is. But as far as correspondence is concerned, I'm the worst.
You're just out of practice.
Yeah, maybe I'm just out of practice. So, for this particular red box, what we decided to do was all of the clear stamps from Dollar Tree. I had all of those still in their package because I felt like, because they're silicone, I feel like putting things back in their original package is going to keep them dust-free, grease-free, humidity-free kind of thing. And it's going to help them stick and work better. But what I realized is it's fine. You just rinse them off and that kind of thing. So we took everything out of the package, all of the clear stamps that I got from the Dollar Tree, and we made room in a tote with some of the rubber stamps that I decided to keep. I kept my one that looks like a little boy fishing, the toile one. I kept the wolf one. I kept the border one, the one that says love, and a few other ones. I also have these tiny monogram type stamps that actually look like what you would emboss, like a wax seal, but they're actually a stamp. And what I did with them when I got them is you put the stamp, like you use a special embossing ink, then you put embossing powder on it while it's wet, you blow off the extra, you heat it up, and it becomes like a raised seal. Those are really nice, and I got them on clearance at Michael's ages ago, like around the time I got married, so that was a long time ago. I also have this one rubber stamp that I found that has a JH on it. It was so randomly in a clearance bin, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, how could you not? So I picked that up as well, and I decided to keep that because who else, John Henry maybe, I don't know. Jack Hastings, I don't know, perhaps. So I just went ahead and I got all of the stamps in one box, and then the other box I did, this has like scrapbook findings. How do I put it? There's like, sometimes you use like eyelets in scrapbooking and brass brads, but they're not really brass brads. They're made paper white, and specialty paper ribbons, and all just little things. My wax seals go in there. My sealing wax, I should say. My wax stamps, my sealing wax stamps as well. Just different random things that I use for different types of paper crafts as well. And then that's it. So the next thing real quick is we're going to go through everything we are going to give away and make sure that it's what we want to do. Just see if you didn't miss anything. Like actually the JH stamp, I kind of missed it. I left it behind, but I really realized that we would use it. It's practical for us, but it's not practical for anybody else. So we just added it back to the other box. Clean as you go, be a grown-up. Now I'm getting together the today's stuff for our friend. Just whatever was right around me from the 26th. We already put everything from the 25th in a big bag from yesterday. So this is just what's left over from today. I even suggested giving her the little basket. I said to Jim, we really aren't going to use that pink basket. So hopefully she's enjoying it. My bag of adhesives, I just went ahead and moved it straight into the office. I put it next to my bag of glues, double sticky tapes, and such and so forth. Now my note cards, again, I was like, do I keep the note cards? How many note cards do I keep? Type of thing. And I was like, let's just decide whatever fits in the correspondence drawer, the with all of the greeting cards. Then let's just put them in there, and then whatever fits we'll keep, and whatever doesn't we'll go ahead and give away. I love Mary Engelbright, and I used to collect a lot of things of hers. And she just made the cutest note cards they used to sell at Michael's for just $1 a pack. They were just so cute. You know, she's got like Life's a Cherubolies and Queen of Everything, Princess of quite a lot. Do you guys know about her? She's really fun. I almost wish she'd come back into fashion. You know what I mean? So decided what notepads, what notes. So we put that off to the side to take over to the correspondence box. And finally, I want to talk about my mega hole punches. I actually thought I was talking about this on camera and demonstrating them, but I don't know if it wasn't working or if I was just showing at the gym and I've had like a brain fart or something. I'm not sure. But what these are these giant heavy duty hole punches that punch. One's a mason jar, one's a circle, one's a square, and then I have this system that actually punches the hole in the middle of a giant piece of paper, for example. You put the base with a magnet down the bottom, and then you find it with the top, and then you can punch a hole in the middle of a giant piece of poster board. So that's it. Here's how they looked when Jimmy set them up. He thought it looked better, lower, and spread out. Like I said, 2 boxes of paper, 2 boxes of washi, then the 3 red boxes and the 3 plastic boxes. I think they look good, but I kind of like them stacked up. I wanted to be able to do more stuff with the horizontal space there in the office. I am considering turning them sideways so that they are deep, you know, up against the side wall instead of the wall with the clock. So that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I motivated you. I hope I could give you some sort of inspiration, and I hope you thought it was fun walking down with all my papercraft history. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, share, subscribe. You know the deal. Give me a thumbs up, and as always, you take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.